discuss the difference between anatomy and physiology. Anatomy is the study of body parts and structures, while physiology is the study of how body parts, structures, work and function. Anatomy studies the specific structural parts of the body, including tissues, organs, and organ systems. Anatomy looks at the composition of the body parts, the cells and tissues that make them up, and organs of the body. Physiology studies the chemical function and interactions of the tissues, organs, and organ systems, and how they work to keep the body alive and healthy. For example, anatomy would look at the structures of skeletal muscles, their actions, and how they are attached to the bones of the body, whereas physiology will look at the chemical makeup of the tissues, that chemical neurotransmitters actuate them, how the ion concentrations change during a contraction, or how the actin and myosin filaments bind each other and interact. The two areas of study are very closely related but are distinct in their areas of focus.
Number 2. Enumerate and discuss the functions of major plant parts. Number 1. Roots. It is the part that lies below the surface of the soil. The top part of a root is covered by a covering known as a root crop. Functions: absorbing mineral water and minerals from the soil, producing plant growth hormones, anchoring the plant firmly to the soil and providing support, developing new plants from the roots of the old plant. Number 2. Stems. They are found above the ground and are structurally divided into nodes and internodes. The regions where leaves are found are known as nodes, whereas the areas in between the nodes are called internodes. So the functions are providing strength and support to buds, flowers, leaves, and fruits, storing food mainly in the form of starch, transporting food, water, and minerals to all parts of the plant body, developing new plants from the stem of the old plant. Number 3. Leaves. They are mostly found above the ground and attached to the stem. A leaf consists of three main parts: the petiole, leaf base, and lamina or leaf blade. Functions are making food for the plant with the help of sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water through photosynthesis, helping in reproduction such as bryophyllum, a group of sprout leaf plants, helping in evaporation from the aerial parts of the plant by transpiration. Number 4. Flowers. They are the most colorful and attractive parts of a plant. A flower contains 4 main parts: the sepals, petals, stamens, and carpel. So the functions are helping in the sexual reproduction of plants, stimulating pollination in plants and fertilization of the ovule. 5. Fruits. They are the ripened ovary found in flower after fertilization. The ovules after fertilization make the seed, which is then fertilized to form new plants. Functions are protecting the growing seeds, helping in the dispersal of seeds and thus in plant reproduction. What are the parts found in the shoot system and root system? So the shoot system consists of stems, leaves, and reproductive parts of the plant. The shoot system generally grows above ground where it absorbs lightly needed for photosynthesis. The root system, which supports the plants and absorbs water and minerals, is usually underground. What are the parts of a root system? The root system consists of two main structures, including the root cap and the primary root.
And I am Jelyn Carriaga Flores, and I will going to answer to the question number 4 and 5. What is the difference between xylem and phloem? Describe the movements of substance in xylem and phloem. Xylem is the tissue responsible for supporting the plants, as well as the storage and long-distance transport for water and nutrients, including the transfer of water-soluble growth factors from the organs of synthetic to the target organs. The tissue is consist of basal elements, conducting cells known as tracheids, and supportive filler tissues called the parenchyma. These cells are joined end to end to form long tubes. Vessel and tracheids are dead at maturity. Tracheids have thick secondary cell wall and are tapered at the ends. It is the thick walls for the tracheids that provide support for plants and allow it to achieve impressive heights to all plants. Tall plants have a selective advantage by being able to reach unfiltered sunlight and disappear these spurs or seeds further away, thus expanding their range. By growing higher than other plants, tall trees cast their shadow on shorter plants and limit competition for water, precious nutrients in the soil. Phloem tissue is responsible for translocation, which is the transfer of soluble organic substances, for example, sugar. The substances travel along sieve elements, but other types of cells are also present. The companion cells, parenchyma cells, and fibers. The end walls, unlike vessel members in xylem, do not have large openings. The end walls, however, are full of small pores where cytoplasm extends from cell to cell. These porous connections are called sieve plates. Despite the fact that their cytoplasm is actively involved in the conductive of food materials, sieve tube members do not have nuclei at maturity. The activity the sieve tubes is controlled by companion cells through plasmadesmata. Annual growth rings are the circular rings found on the end of a log of tree stump. Each set of signifies 1 year of growth. Each year of growth has two distinct growing seasons, spring and summer. In the spring, trees take advantage of all the moisture in the soil and conduct large capacities of sap. This wood growth is called early wood. The cells are large in diameter and have thin cell walls. They are very light in color and easy to machine. You can easily see all the open spurs of early wood with the naked eye. Before the tree was cut, all these spurs were filled with the moisture. Less moisture in the summer thickens the cell walls and causes less moisture movements throughout the tree. Summer growth is called late wood. Late wood cells are smaller in diameter and have thick cell walls. They are dark in color and more difficult to machine. Late wood cells also have pores where moisture was stored, but they are not nearly as big. If you look close enough, you might be able to see some of the spores in the late wood. The early wood or spring wood and the late wood or autumn wood. In the early wood, formed during spring season. In late wood, formed during winter season. Formed early in a year. Formed after the early wood. Consists of xylem tissue with wider wheels. Consists of xylem elements with narrow vessels. Produce more in amount, less dense. Produce less in amount, less dense and more dense. A broad zone of wood. A narrow zone of wood. Not as strong as late wood. Stronger than early wood due to the larger volume of wool materials.
The anatomy of leaf. Within the leaf, there are three types of tissues: dermal tissues, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. The epidermis found in lower and upper surface of the leaf. The epidermis secretes a thick layer which protecting the leaf from drying out. Epidermis have a possible stomata, and every single of stomata consists two cuts out in the pore of stoma. The stoma controls the flows of carbon dioxide, oxygen, and water outer in the leaf and in the epidermis. The leaves fill in ground tissue. The top layer consists elongated palisade parenchyma. The cell of this layer attach the pixel of irregular shape which contains lots of chloroplast. The second layer of the ground tissue is the spongy mesophyll. This layer is list of uniform shape which contains some of chloroplast and but not as many as in palisade cells. Cells in this layer is arranged a lot of intercellular space is full of water and oxygens which allows the gas exchange. Core between the cells in air coming in stomata and the oxygens leaving in the leaf.
The role of photosynthesis in plant and why is it important? Plants are autotrophs, which means they produce their own food. They use the process of photosynthesis to transform water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide into oxygen and simple sugars that the plant uses as fuel. These primary producers form the base of an ecosystem, and the next trophic levels is the movement of water in plant. Osmosis plays a central role of the movement of water between cells and various compartments within plants. In the absence of transpiration, osmotic forces dominate the movement of water into roots. Many plants perform these movements called tropisms. One of the most common tropisms is what you observe in your own house plant. It's called phototropism, and it happens when plants move towards sunlight.
Hello, I'm Agnes Vergara, and today I'm gonna discuss about the factors needed by the plant growth. So, you wondering what happening to the plant too? You put in a water, you put in a fertilizer and nutrients. But why plants is not grow? Do you know what the reason could be? Let me explain it to you. It depends in your soil in your pot. Did you know the growth of the plant depends in the 5 things? Okay, I will tell you about the 5 things, and they are the amount of sunlight, the availability of water, the availability of soil, the availability of air, and the amount of nutrients. And now you know the 5 important things to make the growth plant's productivity. That's all, thank you. Hormones is a chemical messenger synthesized in one locations that deliver message in the different location. And here is the 5 main type of hormones to influence the plant growth. And they are the iuxin, the gibberellin, the cytokinin, ethylene, and abscisic acid. Iuxin is a hormone that allows the plants to bend down in the light, and it's called phototropism. Tropism, turning of an organism and towards external stimulus. Iuxin is synthesized the stem tips and travel downwards. That's why if you remove the stem tip, the plant will lose the ability to grow towards the light. Iuxin make the plant bend down towards the light by moving the shade of the stem. Gibberellent are important that several state in instant they are required in order of plant to germinate. Regulate that time to promote elongation of internodes, aka stem between nodes, which found the leaves. Cytokinin countersenescence is also important to make a plant organ. This hormone produced in the roots apical meristem causes the ratio of iuxin versus cytokinin. Ethylene works with ethylene to cause abscission of leaves, flower, and fruits. Ethylene, the magical ripening hormone. If you put your ripe bananas in the bag with the unripe banana, the unripe bananas will ripe much more quickly. Ethylene is a gaseous. The high production of this hormone and the heavy stick of expansions of the leaves, and it allows to shoot or dig upward the soil and with reduced life through. Abscisic acids. This is a hormone that signals dehydration. It synthesizes the chloroplast of the leaves. When the plant's water stress, this hormone travels to xylem clone and causes the leaves to close the opening of stomata to reduce the water loss of phototranspiration.